Right guys, it's race day, but a different type of race day today. I'm normally in the Club 100 sprint heavyweights, which I am still doing, and I've not uploaded anything for Shennington because my battery died, completely forgot about it, so I had about 2 minutes of footage. But overall, in short, that went really well. I had testing there, tuition as well, so Sam really helped me out again, and gave me some really useful pointers. So for this year, I just wanted more seat time. That's basically what I need to do to get better, to get lighter, to get quicker. And I've joined up with a Club 100 experience, which is basically about 5 or 6 events, but it's run differently to sprints. Whereas sprints is a lot shorter heats. You've got a few more, you've got finals. This is 10 minutes practice, 10 minutes qualifying, something like that, and then 2 20-minute heats, and then your fastest laps dictate where you place to start the heat. So completely different day, completely different layout. I thought what might be good is maybe I'll do just a difference. So what's good about it, what's not, what I like, what I don't like, in comparison to sprints. I'm in the intermediate class. There's a lightweight class. Is there a lightweight? No, there's an intermediate class, a heavyweight class. No, there's not. What the hell am I talking about? There's an intermediate class, there's a novice class, and they've also got, due to being oversubscribed, a heavyweight novice class. The intermediate class, the racing weight, or the minimum racing weight, I think is 81 kilos. So I've got bob open, no hope of getting at the front, because in my birthday suit, I'm 92.2 kilos, and then my suit, gloves, helmet, rib protector, clothes, etc. is about another 5 kilograms on top of that. So I'm not too sure how today's going to go, but I'm still looking forward to it. The weather's dry, and we'll get going with that. Really, I don't really know what else to say. I'll stop boring you, and we'll see how we get on with today. Cheers. Right everyone, I have fast forwarded the practice. 9 times out of 10 with practice, you just need to get familiar with the cart that you've got, try and get used to the cart, get comfortable, get the temps up, don't crash. That's obviously a good point as well. So I'll fast forward it straight to the qualifying and at the start, and if you saw the green flag 10 minutes into practice, that's when you got the green light, and you got to now punch it forward to get some decent lap times in. Observations around Buckmore Park especially is space. You need to give yourself enough space and be confident with the person in front of you will keep progressing on, so you can get a good area to get a good run. Now down here, coming here, I thought I'd be on for a good pace because I've had 10 minutes practice. But again, because of a spinner, you then lose a bit of time because you've got to back off. You then need to settle yourself back into it. So now I'm just trying to prep myself to get a good exit out of these 2 turns and my run up to a cafe corner anyway, so that I can then start the next lap. This happens quite a lot, right? It's actually more harder to get space than what you think, because there's a few yellows, and around Buckmore Park as well, I think that there's a lot of yellows for a cart that's a good few corners up ahead. So this is something that I'm not familiar with. During the sprints, which is different, you don't get qualifying. You get 4 minutes practice, you get your organised places for front of the pack, back of the pack, medium of the pack, and you're just there to try and improve on that. So it was actually quite good to feel that you could get the best time that you could do, and that's going to be your place. A computer is not going to do it for you to some extent. Your lap times will. I was never going to be the fastest person out on track, but I just wanted to improve on what Sam had been telling me round Buckmore Park on my original tuition in the Sprints Champs, which was round 1, was here as well for this year. They are the corner before Garda, the right hand, getting on the power earlier there, maybe scrubbing off some time before the right hander so that I can get a better exit. And then also coming up to cafe corner as well, not obliterating the curb on the left hand side so that I didn't scrub off too much time. So they're the areas that I wanted to improve on, and of course just improve on later braking, etc. So I felt I'd done alright. I'd done the best that I can do, and that was proven because I was 0.2 of a second faster out of all of my laps this year on my qualifying lap. So I was quite happy with that. I managed to get good space in front of me. I did take the very first car out in practice, so I was quite pleased I'd done that because it gave me a little bit more wriggle room ahead of me so that I could then relax. I don't think there was anyone behind me at this time. I'm not going to jeopardise a Slim Jim behind me, so I would have moved them out of the way or let them go through as well. But I was quite comfortable just keeping my head dead straight. And I'll just lead you now into some feedback of how I thought that qualifying went. Right, that was practice done. I forgot to mention the last one. I'm at Buckmore Park, by the way. This is round 1 of the Experience Championship. We had 10 minutes practice that went straight into 10 minutes qualifying as well. It's hard because there's so many karts out there all at once, people spinning, trying to test the kart, see what's going on, so get quite a lot of yellow flags up. I think I've done a 47.2 is my fastest lap. That was my 3rd lap into qualifying, and then the rest was yellow flags and I got stuck behind a few people. So that was my fastest lap of this year so far, and while my weight's been coming down as well, and I'm still 22nd, so I've got loads of racing to do in the first heat, which is due in about 20 minutes. Yeah, there's loads of Slim Jims. I'm 16 kilos over the minimum weight threshold, so I'm just going to get that out of my head, enjoy racing, improving my racecraft, and still continue to listen to what Sam Dimmelome, the tuition and the coach that I've been getting from the first round, because that still really helps. And my racecraft is improving. You know, I'm getting more confident straight away when I get back in the kart, so I'm quite pleased with that as well, and I'll keep progressing. I'll give you an update after my first heat and we'll go from there. Cheers. Right guys, you might wonder where the hell I am, and my helmet strap was off, so I had to pull over to the road, try and put my gloves back on. I'm now rushing, I'm behind, I'm trying to squeeze through these people to get to my place. I clatter that blue bollard as well by accident and nudge it into someone else, so it's pure panic. I'm now way behind on what I wanted to do to get comfortable, to get prepped up to the start. So I actually stopped on the side of the road. I did give a heads up to one of the marshals, say like, just trying to do my head strap up. So that was an schoolboy error on my half, so make sure in future you get everything set up. And to be honest, I normally do. That's the first time that's happened, so I'm well out of sync now, and it will show by my turn 1, turn 2. I decided to take a wet line, which is very interesting. Clearly it didn't work, but I did stay out of trouble because the first opening laps around here was absolute carnage. There's about 30 odd cars out on track, people going left, right and centre in front of me. I am getting bumped left, right and centre as well behind me with loading. I guess that's maybe because of the huge weight difference. I don't know. It was a bit more brutal than what I'm used to. To be fair, the sprints do get a bit of a bad name about them, a bit of a bad rep sometimes, because everyone's trying to tussle. Whoa, look at that, 3 there. So again, you have to expect the unexpected round here and not be a dick about it. Try and make sure that you give yourself enough room, enough space to go racing. And I can understand, I think I started about 22nd, 23rd. I finished 16th overall in this first race, so I was quite pleased with that. I managed to get through the pack a bit on the few opening laps here, and my aim in the game here was just to try and improve on my racing. So if people are going to overtake me, that's rightly so, but if I had an opportunity to overtake them, which before last year I probably would ease off a lot more, and I can see a bit of progression with me actually being a bit more confident to overtaking people, and if there is a gap, maybe going for that, or maybe trying to set myself up a couple of corners before to get a good run of where I was better than some people. But my weight in comparison to people, I had to make sure I was on the ball every minute I could get, and also try and make sure I had some really good exits. That's all that I could care about, and that kind of helped me improve on my consistency. And looking at my lap times throughout the 20 minutes, it actually weren't too bad. It was very consistent. I had no offs, no wobbles, so I was quite pleased with that as well. For the first 10 laps, I'd say people were fighting for position all the time, and some were doing some really good overtakes. There's some people that had really good overtakes on me. I literally did not see where they'd come out from. They just literally come out from behind the camera, and I wasn't even expecting them to. So I thought, fair play, I'll let them get on, and I can try and find a bit of space for myself as well. So, opening laps in comparison to sprints, it's still just as busy. People are still trying to tussle in for position. even in the sprints, that you know that there's not much time. There's about 7 or 8 minutes you've got to try and make a difference. Whereas because this is a 20-minute race, you kind of feel like you should get more comfortable, get your pace, and then try and improve on your racecraft, progressing into the 20-minute stint. I have to admit, the 20 minutes do go fast. I think I was chatting to some of the boys and the group that we've got, and I was always a bit put off by actually having longer stints than heats. I didn't think I'd enjoy it, but I now I don't clock watch. I think when I first started in Club 100, I used to clock watch and hope and pray that the counter goes down. If I was in a good position, I'd just be praying for the end of it. Whereas now, I don't really look at the clock until maybe the final lap ball pops up. If I think there's a couple of minutes to go, I can position myself into the people in front of me, see if I need to do an overtake. So I'm quite happy with that I am obviously still enjoying it. I'm still got some decent pace here as well. There's going to be some times where people ahead of me, you're just trying to keep your eye out to see where they maybe make mistakes and then where you can improve on that. But again, just trying to get my exits out of most corners here, it was important to me so I can try and keep on the back of these people. I was considerably heavier than most people on the day, so in my eyes was to try and be as smooth as possible, and also don't scrub off too much time by your mistakes, and just try and look for people's mistakes. That was a big difference for me. It was quite apparent actually coming up to look at that move. See, that was again, I didn't even see him, wouldn't even know that he was there, so fair play to him. That's a good move. But again, due to practice with Sam, I was getting much better runs up this hill than most people, so that was a good sign for me to think that actually I did have decent pace on some of the corners as I try and undertake him. Now I've moved forward because I did go into a bit of a grey spot here as well for about 7, maybe 5 minutes of the race, but I was on my own. And I managed to catch up with this pack in front of me now. This chap in the grey, for good 10 laps I think, we had a good little tussle. So this was an example of the reasons why I was trying to do experience championships, is to get more seat time, more racing, and improve my racecraft. And just trying to work out, be comfortable with people around me. Maybe people, I'll drop the mic, maybe people, maybe nudge me a bit coming up the hill, not unfairly, but just because they're a bit quicker, lighter, or whatever, and just being comfortable where people break. That's what I'm trying to achieve during this experience. And I would say the difference of the sprints and the experiences that, for this circumstance anyway, is you forever trying to make sure you give yourself time to improve on your own racing around the track, but also you're racing against other people, I suppose. That's probably the one thing that I could say. So in sprints, you get a couple batches of where you are having really good racing with other people, but in the experience, you've got longer pockets with people where you can stick with them or maybe overtake them, and that's quite beneficial, I'd say. I think you get more benefit out of the experience championships, because the longer stints means that you may have more opportunities to do well around other people and prolong the practice that you get in racing alongside people. Right, I've fast forward it now because it's all under yellows. Ready? There it is. Right. So, under yellow racing, I like with sprints, you try it, the pack does get closer together, and then depending on the track, the carts come off straight away. Now you see where that cart is positioned there, you're never going to get that cart off until the end of the race, so there was yellows throughout the end of the race. Okay, after the race I pulled up and I got a bollocking from a member of staff at Club 100 because they said that I made contact under yellows. I didn't get a penalty for it, and I acknowledged it. I said I'll have a look at the footage, and I wanted to have a chat with that gentleman at the end of the day, but I couldn't find him. But I acknowledged that I was driving far too close to the person ahead of me that may have looked like I was causing contact or just being an arse under yellows. I was slowing down, but my sprint mentality is, well, I might only have a couple of laps left because it's only a 7-minute heat, and then therefore I want to try and get as close to the person in front of that person, and then the person behind me is probably really close to me as well. Doesn't work in the experience, especially around Buckmore Park, because it's hard to get carts off. There's always yellows, and it just needs to be safe, right? That's what the owners of Club 100 want you to be safe, the people around you to be safe, and the marshals and everyone involved to be safe, and also to not damage the carts as well, because they are expensive, right? So I can acknowledge I got a bollocking, rightly so. So just be mindful of that under yellows. Buckmore Park is tight, congested. There's no runoff area. So I can acknowledge that just after Garda, the chap that was marshalling there stepped in and gave me another wave. Overall, I really enjoyed the day. I'm still shedding weight. I am going to do more of them, and I do miss the sprints as well, but I thoroughly enjoyed the experience as well, which I hope you did too watching this. Please keep following just for a laugh and watch me mess up sometimes and almost try and take people out under yellows. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch up with you soon in the next one, which will be Wilton Mill round 3 of the sprints. Cheers, guys.